So what do you get with your S3? Lovely box, which is, as you can see from it, it's taken a few hits on the way. I got it delivered by Yodel, and it's still nice and sturdy, kept my phone damage free. So along with it you get a set of Samsung earbuds. They're not the best, they sound decent, they sound a bit better than Apple earbuds, but you will want to play around with these because it takes a while for some to get that will stay in your ear. Then along with it you get a charging USB, where's the USB port there? USB port that plugs into the mains, and I think it's a pretty good design this, so like if you go travelling it just clicks off like that. And then you get the black USB line, which as you can see here it's not going to come apart anytime soon or fray. These are it seems pretty sturdy and I quite like it. So what's the actual user experience like on the Samsung Galaxy S3? So starting with the screen, it is really rather nice. I've got it at the moment on automatic backlight saving, and as you can see, as you scroll down, the backlight dims. So whatever page you're on, it does do quite a good job. Like, so if I switch to YouTube, it does up the brightness quite a lot. But the viewing angles for this screen are pretty good actually. I'll just move it from side to side. Although as you can see from the lights, it is pretty glossy at the moment, and I hope the gloss wears off a bit over time, or else it's going to be bad in sunlight. I mean, it's usable, but it's not amazing. So as for the actual buttons on the phone, you've got the lock button there, which I've got it set for it locks and it puts password on every time I press it. But if you move along to this side, you've got the volume rockers. So say I'm watching a movie and I go to change the volume, I automatically put my finger there or there, and so many times I've locked the phone, and that's just so annoying. So I wish they'd have done it somehow so that the lock button wasn't as easy to press. I mean, it's good in some ways, but bad in like it's practically straight opposite the volume rocker, which is really annoying in that respect. So we'll start off with the standard homepage. I quite like the weather app. It's not the best, but it does its job, and it has a nice little report, but it doesn't seem to update itself. I have to seem to click that, and on the first of the month it had a little calendar icon that I'd push, and it would bring up. That's also worth noting. It'd bring up the calendar app, but it doesn't do anymore. It only did it for the first of the year, and it's taken a while to load the weather map. It does bring up weather maps. It shows the entire world and makes you jealous of everywhere else. So speaking of, so this interface is TouchWiz. I know you can see up here, this is what they've brought out in Gingerbread, which is like the quick user interface, but I find this to be quicker than Gingerbread. It has much more stuff in it, and it's just easier to use than not Gingerbread, than Jelly Bean at the moment. And it's also the one thing I do like about the S3 is multi-window mode. So if I just switch across, want YouTube, and I bring out Chrome, which I just drag it onto the screen, and now I've got half an hour, so I can be watching a YouTube video down there, just pretty small. So I'll just load up my account. So here I am watching a YouTube video and browsing the web, although admittedly in a pretty small place. So I'll just turn that off, and then like this came up when I upgraded the phone. I was like, what is this? Because it wouldn't disappear. But that is one thing worth mentioning is the multitasking, which is access to this. It just for me it just takes too long to come up for the multitasking. But for the actual user interface, the buttons, they're good to use. I do press the back button quite a lot by accident, which is, not gonna lie, is a bit annoying. But other than that, this settings button is really useful. And that's about it for TouchWiz. Along with this, it also has like, well, it has this. This is the home screen. It's not a standard Android, so like shifting across. If you hold your finger here, you can just switch across windows, which I find pretty fast. If I want to get straight to the end, it'll save me having to zip all the way. I can just zip across instead of having to. It doesn't save that much time, but I find it useful. And as for widgets on the S3, here's the calendar app. It's pretty decent. Adding a to-do is I say really easy, I'll just miss it. I'm trying to look through the camera at the same time. Then you just add it, choose your time, then you can choose your reminder. I'd quite like it if the reminder was automatically set. I don't like having to automatically add a reminder, which is a bit annoying. And that's about it for the widgets. And also worth noting is you can have up to 7 home screens, I believe, or yeah, up to 7. And then you can choose. If you see that little blue, that's my current home screen. So I could change it to the calendar app if I want the calendar to come up on the home screen every time. I mean, this obviously varies for what you've got in your Windows. And then if I go back onto that page, so now this is my home page. So there, I'm back home. So the one thing I do find annoying with this is just Android in general, is on iOS you've got all your apps, but here you've got your apps here, but you can't organise your apps here. These just stay as they are. You can't put them into folders in here. So it's just a massive app library basically. I mean, you can sort your downloaded apps there, but I'd quite like to be able to sort them in here as well. Oh, and also S-Voice, I'm not even going to go into that. It's just, it works, but it's not the best in the world. What will the weather be like tomorrow? You see, it just doesn't work that well. It does work if you give it enough patience, I could see it working quite well, and I hope they update it, but I wouldn't buy the phone just for S-Voice, but I don't see the point of it in day-to-day use anyway. So, as for the actual phone's performance, I find it pretty fast. Like, as you can see, it just flicks through here. I mean, I've got a few chunky apps, nothing major. And so let's just open up. I'm still using the basic web. So let's just load up the BBC. So here's the BBC website. As you can see, it scrolls nicely. And let's go on this. This is just over my Wi-Fi connection. I've not got the best Wi-Fi. Here it is, scrolling on this is a texty page, so let's try and bring up a page that's pretty rich in context. It's also worth noting while I'm doing this that the actual keyboard had a little settings button which I keep pressing by accident. So say I'm typing away here, press that settings button when I want to get the symbols, and this pops up, and that's not the keyboard. That is, and if anyone knows how to turn that off, I would love it. As for the predictive search, it's really good, and also when you turn your phone off, it keeps your tabs open for you if you turn your phone off overnight, which is good. You don't lose your web pages every day. But so then we go on to, for gaming, it is pretty good. It's on about par with Nexus 7 for performance, as in games wise. It's got decent graphics. I think it's pretty good. I think it's about PS2 graphics at an absolute push. I would say PS2 graphics, probably a bit in between that. Like on F18 Carrier, it is really nice graphics. And as for the multitasking, as I said before, it does take a while to open once you're in there. I just usually dump it all, but in the long run, I find that annoying because, so I'll open camera now. It takes quite long to load, but now I open it again because it's already there. It's just straight in, and I'd rather the phone. It is noticeable if you just keep task killing. So I noticed with this, there's no point even task killing. I mean, you might want to do it if you've left like a game running in the background and you want to save your battery, but other than that, I don't see the point of it. So that leaves me on the actual phone. The battery life itself is pretty decent, so I'll just jump into settings and the battery. So it's here. This gives you a breakdown of the battery you've used, what's draining it, and yeah, I think it holds its charge throughout the day. I've usually got a day's use, and I have used it quite a lot, but I have used it on auto brightness, and I do lock it quite often. Like as soon as I've finished, I just lock the screen. Signal, on this phone. It's not the best around. I've had better. My old BlackBerry, I think, even managed to get better. The BlackBerry Bold did better, signal wise, but it's not bad. It just could be better. And then build wise, as we all know, it's made of plastic. I think it's pretty sturdy, especially with the case on. It feels sturdy enough. Doesn't creak or anything. But I would say that compared to like a BlackBerry Bold, even the BlackBerry Bold's back doesn't move as much as this one, which is a bit surprising. I thought they could have done a bit better job with the back, especially as that's going to take quite a few knocks. So I'll just do a quick demonstration of the web speed. So I'm just going to load up a website that I've not been on before, so I've not got it cached or anything. So I'll just go on let's find the AMD, let's go on this. Hopefully it'll be a full site. Yep, here it is. And I'll just quickly show you the zoom. So here's the zoom. Let's go on. This, as you can see, this phone, the resolution is great for web browsing. It easily fits the web page into its screen with room to spare. So I especially like browsing it on portrait mode. And as you can see, zooming in, it starts to zoom in as soon as you move your fingers from the middle, which is, I think it was a bug with the Nexus 4 I've seen in a few reviews. And overall, this just shows the phone off. See, that's the really great screen that it is. So here it is. I'll show you again. There's how much resolution you've got at the bottom to spare from this. I believe it's almost, I think it's 720 HD screen, which is just amazing. And I'll just quickly show you the apps. Like, here's Internet Database. Look how fast it loads this time. So I'll just go out of it again. Load it again. It just loads so much faster. So emphasising again, if you don't have to kill your tasks, don't do it, because your phone's so much faster otherwise. And here's the actual file folder of Samsung. I hope to do it better next time, because quite frankly it looks rubbish like that. When you plug in your headphones, it brings up the headphone music system, so you've got your videos and you've got your music on the actual device. So this is, you can browse your library, and this just adds another panel to your home screen, which I think is a really good idea. And then you can obviously access it there, and it has recommended. So this screen is just dedicated to stuff you'd need your headphones for, so you phone someone, video player, music player, YouTube, and also the FM radio, which I'll just load up. I think is really cool. I mean, I'm easily pleased, but it's like you're dialing someone. Yeah, here it is. Turn it over to mute. And I'm not going to do that because I don't want to scratch my screen, but here it is. So you turn your radio on, and then you can just scroll around, so and then when you don't want to listen, just turn it off. So for me, I think that's pretty cool. You'll probably think I'm a bit sad, but hey. And that's about it. So here's Samsung. So say I try to get a thing to go into here, so say try to get chat on, it doesn't let you. It has to force you into the main screen. So this is I'll show you just a quick way how you add your icons. You can pretty much add them where you want on the screen, although I do find this bit here is quite a lot of dead space, which is annoying. So here's my review of the Samsung Galaxy S3. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment if you got any questions on the phone. I've had it now for about 2-3 weeks and I'm really enjoying it. I'm still in the honeymoon period, so I'm not sure how it will go, but yeah, thanks for watching.